KT7 up here. Today, I will review and showcase Kadaj from FFVIIIAC collaboration. He is a 90 cost water unit in the Katana group. His sub-jobs are Strider and Hunter. He is a very defensive unit with great all-elemental resistance and high accuracy. However, I have decided to skip him, it was just too much for me to handle. But I will share my experiences going up against him. These are the items we will go over today. Let's get started. First is TMR, it is a cloth. The stats are HP 368, Defense 12, and Spirit 10. The ability is a group buff, and the effects last for 4 turns. Increase the group's attack by 30%, and lower target's physical Man-Eater 20 on hit. The Man-Eater down lasts for 3 turns. The effects of this TMR are good, but it is just too difficult to work in an additional group buff. Next is attack type resistances. He has 15 to slash and magic, 10 to strike and missile, and a negative 15 to pierce. Overall, these are very good. His status ailment resistances are 50 to confusion, 50 to stop, and 10 to immobilize. 50 to stop is really good, it is just so deadly. I recommend to not give him more than 50 faith, as he does not have any self-healing. Kadaj has next-gen stats. His attack is the highest in the game at 470, and also has over 70 agility. He has the base movement of 3 move, and 1 jump with no way to increase them. Moving on to his master ability and 140 upgrades. His master ability gives him crit evade 20, and reaction block rate 20. For his 140, he gets defense 15 and unit resistance 15. Also upgrades to his buff, to include lower target's crit rate and dispel AP auto restore on hit. Next is new Katana. The general ability is slash attack 15. For Kadaj only, he gets defense 8, initial AP 20, and elemental chain resistance 25. If you want to build Kadaj more defensively, this Katana is a good choice. His unique abilities from the TOR item are physical damage up 10% and type chain resistance 30. Type chain resistance is very good in the weapon team era. Moving on to his support abilities. Number 1 gives him attack 24%, slash penetration 40, and all elemental resistance 15. This support ability is a huge part of his kit, be sure to put this on him at all times. Support number 2 gives him slash and missile resistance 15. You can build him to be even tankier against those 2 types of attacks. But I don't recommend it. His reaction ability is physical reflex with a 15% proc chance. Now let's go to his LB. It is an AoE attack, can hit up to 5 panels away, with range height and area height of 1. Before damage removes courage and re-raise from targets. Then gives Kadaj a plus 30% hit rate, then deals extra large damage. Also gives him AP auto restore small for the next 3 turns. This is just like OG Sephiroth's LB minus the sure hit. A great LB overall, being able to remove 2 crucial survival mechanics is great. The AP auto restore is also very important to him. Next, his buffing abilities. His highest priority buff is his group buff. Gives the group physical Man-Eater 30 for 4 turns. For Kadaj, he gets 4 turn haste and human resistance 25. He also gets the following on hit effect for the next 4 turns. Lower target's physical damage output 15% for 3 turns, crit rate down 20 for 3 turns, and dispel AP auto restore. Agility is one of Kadaj's strength. With the right setup, his agility can reach over 130. This self-haste will make him even faster. However, he will multicast this buff to give the physical Man-Eater to all his teammates before moving forward. His second priority buff is his self-buff. Gives him re-raise, lower his AP consumption by 30%, increase his slash penetration by 40, and up his resistance to all elements by 20 for 4 turns. With this buff active, he will have plus 35 resistance to all elements. But besides the on-hit effects, everything else can be dispelled. Moving over to his attacks. The first on the list is a select 2-unit attack that has a range of 4 and range height of 1. Before damage, breaks target's physical damage barrier, then deals a 2-hit large damage. This is his best ability in my opinion, being able to break physical barrier in all directions is really useful. His second attack is a cross-shaped AoE with a range up to 5, both range height and area height of 1. Gives Kadaj plus 30 hit rate then deals large damage. Next is his low AP unit attack, it can hit up to 3 panels away. Deals small damage, and recover 10 AP if target is KO'd. Attack number 4 is a select 2 sure hit attack. It has a range of 4, and range height of 1. Before damage, lower target's defense by 80% for this attack only. Then deals large damage. Defense Shred is good for Kadaj, because his defense penetration isn't that great. It can help him deals more damage. We have finished with his main job, let's move on to his subs. First, his main sub. The first ability is an AoE attack that has a rectangle shape. Deals medium damage, and has a 25% chance to inflict Berserk. The second ability is a 3-hit small damage attack that has range of 2 and range height of 1. This is good for PvE chaining. The range is very short. Next is Strider sub. The support ability is Natural Instincts, giving him 25 accuracy and 40 defense penetration. I recommend to have this on him at all times. The reaction ability is Danger Sense, 20% chance to reduce all incoming damage by 30%. The two notable abilities are Twisting Shield Breaker, a courage removal attack, and Constricting Cleave, a long-range attack that can cause slow. But I recommend to turn this off, so he does not get baited to attack too early. He really needs his all-elemental resistance buff online. Moving on to Hunter. The support abilities are Hunter's Eye and Combat Ready. Hunter's Eye gives him range +1, but you will need to take away his defense penetration. The reaction ability is Water Snare, 30% to lower target's water and missile resistance by 25 when he is targeted. It could be useful, but I like Reflex better. The two notable abilities are Triple Flight and Maddening Arrow. He does have Clean Piercer, but it has a charge time. I would recommend to turn it off. Hunter can give him another attack type, but the range of the attacks are not that much better than his other abilities. I can see a scenario where he uses Hunter to pair up with Gilgamesh's follow-up attack. That's all for his kit. Let's look at his VC. The Back to the Lifestream VC will come 1 week after him. It supports Spear, Bow, Katana, and Staff Devout. The stats are HP 315, Attack 141, AP 15, and 3 Defense. The party abilities are Unit Resistance 24, Defense 12, and Physical Man-Eater 25. The bestowed effects are Attack 20% and 8 Accuracy. The Hollow party ability for quest content is Crit Damage 25. VC Mastery are 2 Pierce Resistance and 2 Strike Resistance. Even though this VC is very similar to Dark Tetra, I still highly recommend it for both Kadaj and Sephiroth, because it is the only unit resistance card for the Katana group. Let's move on to his equipments, Espers, and Truststone. The weapon I recommend for him is the Heaven's Cloud from the Reliquaries. It has 5 human resistance, 20 crit rate, and 10% agility for him. His new katana is better if you want him to be more defensive, especially against units like Cloud that has a triple hit. In the second slot, the cell phone is the best, frees up a couple of Truststone slots. If you want to give him more light resistance, the Winter Coat is a very good choice. It also has 50 all-elemental weakening resistance, which can help him against elemental imperils. In his TMR slot, give him agility or accuracy. A semi-evasion build can also be done with Kadaj. He can reach 600 luck and around 90 evasion, pretty good. For his Truststones, I like Vital on the left for 5 more elemental resistance. On the right, either agility or aim. If you are going for a semi-evasion build, luck and agility will do. Now his Espers. Sahagin Prince and regular Odin are the top choices, both have good accuracy and agility. Ultros can give him 20 more defense penetration, a good choice. You can also use Espers to boost his elemental resistances. Next, sample teams. The first team I have prepared is Mono Water with SummerGlaciela and Spring Gym. Kadaj is on his Strider sub. Main support number 1, and Natural Instinct. The reaction is Physical Reflex. His defense penetration is at 50 at all times. Slash penetration starts at 68, and will be above 100 with his self buff. Unit resistance at 40 and AoE resistance at 30. As you can see, his defense penetration caps at 50, his defense shred attack can help him out. Or give him Ultros for the 20 additional defense penetration. The VCs here are the typical water setup. If you want to give him more lightning resistance, you can switch up the 2 agility VCs. Kadaj's role on this team is to remove courage, re-raise, and break barriers. He is a great support DPS for Gym. If you don't want to run a tank, you can sub in Water Veritas. She can give Jum re-raise and increase her elemental resistance. And most importantly, she can cure curse. His new VC supports Lynx and young Oelde. It is another option for unit resistance if you decided to run those three together. The second team I have prepared is the Water Mixed Ice team with new Gilgamesh. There are some VC crossovers between Katana and Red Mage. His penetrations are the same as the previous build, but his AoE resistance is down to 22. It is a bit concerning, but he has very good accuracy which can leverage Gilgamesh's follow-up attack. You can even put him on Hunter and give him range +1 to snipe enemies from afar. Just like in the previous setup, he is a supporting DPS unit. New Gilgamesh is a powerhouse. If you don't have Jum, Kadaj is the top replacement unit to help him deal with fire teams. This team features a few Katana and Sword Red Mage VCs. Meeting in the Moonlight is a card that I really want in JP. Physical Man-Eater in the main slot is really good. It is like elemental attack up for weapon type teams. The last team I am showing today is the Katana team with Fire Sephiroth and Dario. For a Katana team, you can really build up light and dark resistances in exchange for some damage from your physical attackers. As both of the VCs are magic based, which could be difficult since the two agility VCs are also magic based. All three units here have sure hits, and Kadaj's agility is over 130 with a setup similar to this. Sweetheart Miranda can take the place of Sephiroth if you want to lean more on magic. Dario's magic damage reduction aura will make a comeback when Gilgamesh comes around. Let's look at the VC for the Katana group. This group is ready. There are lots of AoE options, but only one unit resistance card. Pick that VC up if you plan to run a full Katana team. You will need that VC. Some notable crossovers are with Sword Red Mage, Mace and Staff Black Mage. I want to bring attention to the Black Mage crossovers with Ice and Water units. The VCs are ready, but the units are not quite there yet. Now my final thoughts on Kadaj. He is the first 90 cost, next gen banner unit, and it really shows the difference from the 100 cost units. I am not saying he is a bad unit, it's just that his kit does not even come close to what the recent units can do. He does not have any healing from his kit, his survivability comes from his re-raise and all elemental resistance. But he cannot protect his re-raise, and does not have any kind of barriers. He is very similar to Lucio in terms of elemental resistance, but that is not good enough to keep him safe. Especially with his low AoE resistance. Both of his buffs are really good on paper with a lot of effects, but most of the effects can be dispelled easily. Every unit in the game relies on buffs, but for Kadaj, all his defensive powers come from his 2 buffs, which is a huge problem. On the positive side, he is a hyper-accurate and super-fast unit. He is definitely very valuable in certain matchups, or when the next gen evade unit arrives. But at the moment, I can't recommend him. Save your Viz for his VC, Sephiroth, or new Gilgamesh. If you don't have Spring Jum, he can be a decent replacement. But Jum is not a limited unit, you can pick her up randomly or get her from a unit of choice banner later on. Now let's go to some sample matches. The first match of the day is Mixed Earth and Ice against Mono Water. I will be showing 3 matches today, one featuring new Gilgamesh. I think everyone should save resources for him. Kadaj's first action, his group buff. Gives the group 30 physical Man-Eater for 4 turns. For himself, haste and human resistance 25 4 turns. And grants him 3 on-hit effects. Lower target's physical damage output 15%, crit rate down 20, both for 3 turns. And Dispel AP Auto Restore. He just recasted this buff on his second turn, because another teammate is in range. Second action, self-buff, grants him re-raise. Also, lower AP consumption 30, slash penetration up 40, and all elemental resistance up 20, all for 4 turns. This is his cross-shaped AoE attack. Plus 30% hit rate, then deals large damage. Kadaj can take many hits before he goes down, he is quite tanky. But my A2 just removed his haste and re-raise. This is his select 2 defense shred sure hit attack. Before damage lower target's defense by 80%, then deals large damage. He is now going for his LB. Before damage, remove courage and re-raise. Gives Kadaj plus 30% hit rate, then deals extra large damage. And grants him AP auto restore small for the next 3 turns. With the water slash chain from Jum, he dealt cap damage to my tank. Once his resistance buffs run out, he can be taken down quite easily. The second match of the day is Great Sword against Katana. Classic Cloud vs Sephiroth. With starting position like this here, Kadaj will multicast his group buff. One way to correct that is to give him a diamond-shaped AoE around self TMR buff. So he will cast TMR on turn 2, then re-raise on turn 3. But you will lose out on one hasted turn. Here, he is casting his group buff for the second time on Sephiroth. This is his re-raise buff on turn 3. Now his cross-shaped AoE attack. Just like in the movie, we need to take out Kadaj before getting to Sephiroth. Here comes Sephiroth's Curse LB. This is Kadaj's select 2 physical barrier break attack. Before damage break targets physical barriers, then deals 2 hit large damage. I forgot to turn off my notifications. Yeah, check out my Cloud 140 showcase if you haven't already. Sephiroth is a very high damage unit. I will have his 140 showcase uploaded when he is announced in the news. This is the last match of the day. Mono Ice against Water Mixed Ice. I boosted my Gilgamesh's follow-up attack as much as I can. He is really powerful. I will save that for his video. Anyways, Kadaj is the forgotten child in the collaboration. He is decent but cannot compare to the next gen 100 cost units. He might be a very important piece in the future, but for now he is a skip. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.